Okay, so today we're going to talk about the exciting KV Core Smart Campaign and KV Core templates. Fair warning, this will not be as exciting as the discussions that we've had. Nice haircut, Brendan. Whoa, take the hat off. Take it off. Ooh, ooh, somebody must be getting new headshots this weekend. Sorry about that. So, Um, it will not be as exciting as some of the just kind of roundtable discussions we've had over the past few weeks, but it is important. If you today is meant to give you kind of an overview in kind of a high level view of what these things are and how to access them and mess with them. There will be more questions. We can definitely go over those on an individual basis or in a whole nother meeting, but my goal for today is to get you to understand where they are in the system, be able to look at them in the system, and be able to start to mess with them and implement them if you choose to do so. So, sound good? Okay. I'm going to try and share my screen. All right, and here we go. We are looking now at the first page that pops up when you log into KV Core. Newer folks, you may not even have had a chance to log into KV Core yet, and if that's the case, that's okay. Not a big deal. Like I said, this will be recorded. You'll get a playback, and you can mess with it later. So the smart campaigns are drip campaigns or automated campaigns, for lack of a better term, that you can apply to a contact, right? So as an example, if I pull up this contact of mine right here, Tracy, or not, please don't pull up the house. Yeah, I did. Usually when you click the tile on the name, you can pull up the contact, but for whatever reason, it's not doing it. So let's go to this way instead. Bear with me. Contacts page in your KV Core is going to be as slow as mine. It's because of the amount of data that it's chewing on. But if we pull up any contact over here on the right side menu, you can see what you've got going on. You can see with this contact, this was a cold contact, cold lead. And the only campaign that they have automatically assigned to them is this 2024 holiday campaign. That's the corporate NextHome campaign that comes out. Anybody you put into your system is automatically going to get tagged with that. Somewhere around 30 touches a year on holidays. This is a seller cold contact. So eventually, over the next week or so, they will probably, once I find out a little bit more about them, they'll probably get assigned one of the campaigns in the system that's called default seller. And it'll give them some touches throughout the year. I'm going to close that out. And man, I got all these boxes all over the place. You guys can't see them, thankfully. Go back to the dashboard. So now we're going to go back to the beginning of KV Core where you first log on. I think someone needs a new computer. It's not running right. Page unresponsive. Here we go. That's where it all goes bad. All right, so we're back to the dashboard. And over here on the little paper airplane, that's the kind of marketing tab. It's smart campaigns that we're going to access. Can I make this smaller? Oh, right there. And what you're going to get is a list of campaigns that are available in the system to use. Now, you notice that over here on the right side, they're not turned on. And that is because for a while, I had them all turned off because I didn't understand the system well enough to understand why, sometimes it would automatically assign campaigns to anybody that got plugged into our system. And I couldn't understand why it was doing that and why we couldn't control it. It's not that I didn't mind it, I didn't want the campaigns. It's just that sometimes it would attach the wrong campaign to the wrong kind of person. It really kind of pissed me off. So what I did was I turned them all off, and then I turned on the individual ones down towards the bottom that we want to use. Now, in prepping for this, I dug around a little bit and I found out how to not trigger them and make them 100% manual, which is what I've always wanted. So I would say by the beginning of next week, I'll have gone through all of these campaigns and removed the triggers, meaning that we'll turn them all back on. You'll have access to whatever ones you want to sign up, whenever you want, and it won't automatically trigger. So you can put someone in your system. You don't have to worry about the fact that they're going to get attached to some campaign that you may or might not want. And then you can decide every time you put somebody in your system if you want to attach something to them and what that is. Okay, makes sense. The other thing I'll say is this: when you get in here and you start to look at these and you think, oh, I want to maybe edit that one and I want to use that, before you do any of that, you're going to make a copy of it. So treat the original campaign, all of these campaigns over here, treat the original campaign as kind of a master template, right? You don't necessarily want to assign that one. You want to use that one to create the one that you will assign. It sounds difficult, but it really isn't. For example, let's mess with this default new lead buyer. You'll notice that this is already a copy, but we're going to pretend that it isn't. So when I double click on that campaign, basically I've got the whole campaign out here in front of me. Okay. I can look at what it's going to do and what it's going to say. But before I do any of that, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to clone it. So I'm going to clone campaign, right? The campaign scope is going to be for the company. You don't have that menu. These are all of the things that when you get into here, it'll start to decide when it's going to automatically assign that. That's the part that I don't like. So immediately when I make my copy, I'm going to say I don't want it to trigger. Okay. If I check the I don't want it to trigger box, that means it's not going to be assigned to anything automatic. I will have to assign it to something. Okay. I'm going to go to the next. This is a buyer campaign, so it's going to be for the buyer. I'm going to say next. And here's where we get to name it, right? Copy. We're going to name it demo meeting. Always run, you'll notice says no and no. That's good. That means that, admit whoever that is, that means that it's not going to automatically trigger. Okay. It will attach itself and it will run to whoever you assign it to, but you're taking the power away from the system that is automatically going to assign it to whoever you want. All right. So then we're going to say next. It gives me a recap of what I've said I want it to do. Great. And we can finish it. Now, if I go back, I should be able to find it. Here it is. Buyer new lead or default new lead buyer demo for the meeting. Okay. So now I know that this is the one that I'm going to mess with. I can open it up and I can see what it's going to do. It gives me a roadmap of what it's going to do. So the first thing it's going to do, if I can move this window some more, get that out of my way. So the first thing it's going to do is, as soon as you turn it on, is it's going to send a text. It's going to send a text to you, and that's a reminder text. You'll see the from and to. The from is from the system, and the to is to the agent. So the first thing it's going to do is going to notify you, hey, you sent that campaign, or you set up this contact with that campaign, make a calendar. Then it's going to give you another note to call and leave this person a voicemail, right? So the campaign is doing two things. It's the system reminding you to do things, and it's the system sending the contact stuff from you automatically. So 7 minutes after you fire it up, it's going to send a text from you, the agent, to the contact, whoever you signed it to. And you say, all right, well, what's in the text? I want to know what the text is going to say. If you click the edit box, you can see what the text is going to say or what it's going to read. You can see who it's from, who it's going to. You can see the timing of that, and you can see what it's going to read, right? So the text is going to read, hi, thanks for requesting the property info on our site. Just curious, are you actively searching for a property or just browsing right now? And then anytime you see those brackets, that means that the system is inserting predefined terms for you. So in this particular case, it's going to say, are you just browsing right now from Damien, right? You say, that's great. Great. Move on with life. You say, I don't like that. Like, I don't like the dots right here. Get rid of the dots. Type in whatever you want. Click save. And you're going to provide a new name. Default fire updated. Okay. It's edited now, right? So when you decide, hey, am I going to run these campaigns? Am I not going to run these campaigns? What's in them? What are the people going to see? You can go through the campaign before you ever assign it, and you can see what it's going to do. And you can find out if it's going to send something you don't want it to send, right? Here's an email. The system's going to send an email from the agent to the contact. Here's what the email is going to read. Here's the next text that's going to go out. You can scroll through them up and down and find out exactly what it's going to do. If you don't like what it's going to do, you can change what it's going to do. You can edit that text. Fair warning, okay? A lot of smart people put these things together, all right? Chances are really good that you're not going to do as good a job of being of seeming unobtrusive and being effective at the same time as the hundreds of think tankers that put this stuff together. Okay? But if you're one of those control freaks like me, and you want to know exactly what's going out, and you want to get real hung up on words and punctuations and everything else because you don't want it to sound like a robot or something else, you can go through it and you can tweak it, and then you can assign what you chose to tweak so it's absolutely personalized to you. Any questions so far? There's a lot more people than are on this screen.
I've got a question.
Shoot.
And this might be, it might be a little too deep, or maybe I'm not sure possible. Is there some kind of call to action you can put on that, or if they respond, where does all that information go?
It's a great question. Now, if you want to put in a call to action, you would probably have to update the text, and insert a call of action of some kind or another. But to answer your question, when they respond, either by email or by text, it's going to go multiple places. The first place it's going to go is if it's a text and they respond by text, it's going to show up in your phone like a text from KV Core, right? If it's an email and they respond to your email, it's going to show up to your email on file as a response from a contact in KV Core. It's also going to show up as a tile on that first KV Core dashboard that I showed you. It's going to show up as a tile that something happened. So it's going to go multiple spots. You're going to have multiple notifications. It's really, really hard to miss if they respond. Some of these, as you scroll through them and you read them, some of the campaign messages, whether that be a text message or whether that be an email, do have a call to action in the text. But if you scroll through there and you want every single piece, for example, to have a call to action, or you want to be a little bit more forceful with it, or a little bit more gentle with it, or whatever, you'll have to edit that. You'll have to edit it out, edit in what you want. Anybody else so far? So scroll through. Remember to copy before you edit anything. See if there's something that you like or don't like. If you want to be able to run it and it's not on yet because I haven't gotten rid of all the triggers, let me know and I will take care of that for you right away so that you can run it. From personal experience, I'll tell you this. They're pretty light duty. Okay. All of my seller cold calls get the default seller campaign. I've never had anybody really blow up on me over it. I've had some people like text stop or something, and that's fun for me because I tell them, hey, I'm not a robot. Like, I actually sent that to you. And that starts a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, even though it is a robot, I say it's not. So it's pretty as far as automatic drip campaigns go, it's pretty well done. It's pretty low pressure, and people tend to like not get completely freaked out about it. Who is that? Bam. Okay, muted her. All right, sorry, Cindy. So let's go back. I feel like the two that you're going to use the most are default new lead seller or your copy of default new lead seller. That's the only one that I use, by the way, or default new lead buyer or your copy of default new lead buyer. That's because as agents, I mean, the most common things that you're going to have are, you know, a buyer lead or a seller lead that you want to kind of nurse along. The other one, now be careful with this one. This one was the one that bit me because it auto assigned and it was going out to all kinds of people that I didn't want it to go out to, so I immediately turned it off. It's on my list next week to go through and tweak and so that we can put it back in action. But these are default homeowner sphere. This is the one that you're going to end up assigning to people that are just in your sphere. Maybe they're not currently buying or selling or in the hunt for real estate, but you want to stay in front of them a little bit more often. And let me back up. Remember, every single one of the contacts in my database has at least two things already, and that's going to be the holiday campaign, and it's going to be the market report for the town that they live in every 7 days, meaning they're already getting, at least 4 hits a month from me. And since there's some kind of holiday almost every month, it's probably like 5, right? So they're already getting 5 hits a month from me just with that. That's why I'm pretty careful about what I assign to someone that's in my sphere. I don't want to over, pound them because there's a fine line, as you guys all know, that if you're sending them too much, it can be problematic. But this campaign, this default homeowner sphere campaign, is only 18 touches. That's like 1.5 a month, right? So once I get that tuned up, I'm going to feel pretty comfortable that you guys can use that and get away with it. All right. Any questions before we go on to templates? No? Okay, templates. Templates are a little bit different. Templates are basically email templates, okay, for all different kinds of events, okay? But they're a little bit more manual than smart campaigns. So if you want to use an email template, okay, let's say we want to ask for referrals. Oh, we're going to do it this way. I'm not actually going to clone it, but we're going to do it like this. you can see this email will go out. It automatically plugs in their first name, and then it automatically signs your name. It will have your signature line, whatever signature line you have, uploaded in the intranet at the bottom. It'll have some NextHome artwork at the top. It'll be like, a pretty nice, well done looking email. Okay. You can tweak it, as you can see here. You can tweak it before it goes out if you want. You can clone it, make changes to it, change the name to it so that you know what it is before you send it out. But when you use these templates, you create a template, okay? And then you'll select a range of people to email it to automatically. So this one, for example, would probably go to people that were classified as sphere, right? You're communicating that you've got, interested parties. You're checking in, trying to get referrals. You're asking these questions of someone who's not probably a current buyer or seller, but someone in your sphere, someone that you know. So once I made that template, yeah. Once I made that template, and you can scroll through these and look at them at your leisure, but let me show you how something like that works. Okay. So let's say we want to pull up, hold on, holding. I'll just use this page since it's chewing so slow. Over here is where all your filters are, so you can filter out who you want to show up. I want people that are in my sphere that are sellers to show up on the screen. So you've gone through here, you've selected all the filters that you want to run through. Maybe you've got people that are hashtagged, people that you play bingo with, hashtag bingo, right? So you select hashtag bingo and you pull up all your bingo partners right here on this line. And then what you're going to do is you're going to check them. Select check. What is wrong with this computer? Somebody help me. Yeah. Maybe you should just pretend I checked that box, right? Use your imagination, everyone. But I can't click the button unless it is actually checked. Stay, stay, stay. Good. So we select check whichever filters that we brought up. We click the email box, Bueller. And here's where we can find the template that we want to send all of them all at once, right? We select the template right here. We click send. They're all going to get it. All of them except for there are 33 of the 250 that are unsubscribed, and 2 of the 250 have an invalid email address. But other than that, the 250 names, if I click that button, I click send, they're getting it. Okay. So you can go through those templates. You say, I want to send an email out today to communicate to, this certain group of people that I've got situated in my contact file. I don't know what the hell to send them, but I want it to be real estate related. I want it to look sharp. I don't want to take a bunch of time doing it. Go scroll through, find a template that's appropriate. I love this one. That's the why I picked it. No, that's not the one. That's post-call email. Okay, I love the one that, that trolls for referrals. I love that one. That's why I picked it. Craft it up, click send. By the time that you're done doing it a couple of times, it will probably take you all of 4 or 5 minutes, okay, to hit whatever bucket that you want to hit during that time period. All right. Make sense so far? I know I'm going fast. Okay. Yeah, Brandon, go.
One more question, just to clarify. When you have the parentheses up right there, the system is auto-generating your name, or do you have to put it in there?
No. So great question. Whenever you see those brackets or those parentheses with the point on them, that means it's an auto prompt from the system. So the system is going to automatically grab the first name of the client or of the contact and put it in there. So it says, "Hi, Brendan," versus, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then it's automatically going to sign with the agent's first name and the agent's last name, Jessica Jensen, rather than, just blank email. All right. You'll see other things that the system will auto prompt as you're going through these campaigns. It might auto prompt their address, right? So you can filter out to say, look, I want people in my sphere that have an address on file, and then one of the templates will say, hey, I just want to check in and see how your house was doing on Connie Drive. It'll grab that from their address file, right? So it's a little bit more personal. So when you see the brackets like that with the pointies on them, just leave them alone. That means it's gonna grab it automatically.
Okay, thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about buckets. I'm probably going to pick a really bad one, but let's try it. Yeah, this isn't a good example. That's okay. So when you are setting up a client or a data spot in your file, I've told you the most important things you want to have is name, email address, and phone number. That's because KV Core needs those things to run smart campaigns. You don't have that, it can't run them. Okay. Their customer type is also important. So this particular client is tagged as a buyer and a seller. Okay. They might be an agent. They might be a vendor. They might be a renter. Brendan's working on a really big renter project right now. So he's going to classify a bunch of people as renters. And then hashtags, you're like, okay, well, what does that matter? Okay. So for this particular client, this is an old client of mine. All I really want to know is that they're sorted through Real Scout. So I gave them the hashtag Real Scout. But you might decide that you want your clients put in buckets by geographical region. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. So you might hashtag them with the hashtag I have for agents with SAC or oops. Man, this thing is just crawling. Or Auburn, right? You might hashtag them for, like I said, bingo. These are people that you play bingo with. Okay. There's a method to this. So just let me do it. And it's okay to take a little bit of time doing that. Think about buckets. I can't say it enough. Put everybody in a bucket or two, because then when you go back and you decide that you want to sort people and find specific buckets, it's really, really easy to find them, target them, and send them a specific piece of marketing. You usually choose a little bit faster than this, but like I said, I think this is the dying days of the Mac that you're witnessing right now. So those are all the people that I play bingo with. I don't know who you play bingo with, but I can pull up everybody that I play bingo with. I can select, check that whole line. I can set them up with a smart campaign. I can send them a bingo specific email. I can send them something pertinent that they identify with me with, like, hey, great bingo night the other night. Can you believe that Barbara won all the money? Something like that, right? But that all comes to play easily only when you take the time to go through those contacts and make sure they're in the right buckets. Okay? Make sure they're in the right buckets. All right. Let me unshare the screen. So that's the overview. That's how you get into it and start digging through them and start playing with them to see what you've got. That's a little bit of talk about how to put people in buckets so that you can work with them in the future very, very easily. What do you got for me? Question-wise.
I've got a comment.
Go.
I think that anybody that's not using this system for touches, or if you are coming over from a different brokerage right now, think about this. When was the last time you talked to your whole sphere, your entire sphere, right?
Yep.
You probably haven't for a long time, but once you upload them into this, maybe it's an announcement that you're coming over to NextHome, or maybe it's just you putting everybody, uploading them in this touches campaign. You will talk to your whole sphere. Think about it. You're going to have a very good chance of getting a deal out of that.
Somebody get a calculator out. Ready? Jess, you got a calculator? All right. Like I told you, everybody in my sphere conservatively gets 5 touches from me a month. That's conservative, but let's say it's 5. Okay, so Jess, you got the calculator? 5 touches a month times 6,000 times 12. No, it's not working. Turn on your thing and read the number.
360,000.
360,000. Okay. That's 360,000 touches a year. I don't know if the calculator is going to do this. What's 360,000 times 2? 720. Right?
Yes.
What's 720,000 divided by 60?
12,000.
12,000. KV Core does 12,000 hours of work for me a year. Conservatively. Right? That's the number of touches per month to my entire book at 2 minutes of contact, which I think is also conservative. Okay. At 2 minutes of contact, annualized. It does 12,000 hours of work for me a year. Jess, what's 12,000 divided by 40?
300.
300 weeks. So basically, KV Core does a year's worth of work for me a year. Right? And I'm going to be honest. I will be totally honest. If I didn't have that doing it, I wouldn't do it at all. Like, nobody's got time for it. You literally don't have time for it. There's always something else to do. There's always some damn fire to put out. Marketing and drip marketing and contact marketing always goes to the back burner because there's always something more important, not more important, there's always something more urgent that has to be dealt with, right? So by the time you get around to doing the drip marketing or the contact marketing or any of that, you got about that much time, you do a shitty job, and it doesn't work. You get a poor response or no response, so you stop doing it. And then at some point you decide this is really important, and so you've got to start it all over again. Okay? I am not BSing you when I say that I went 20 years or 15 years. 15 years with no CRM and no drip marketing, and everything was just fine. I did just fine in my mind. Absolutely just fine until I turned the damn thing on. Okay? And then I turned the damn thing on, and I am not kidding you. It's good for 6 deals a year, period. all by itself, it's good for 6 deals a year. Okay. 6 deals that I wouldn't have gotten. And honestly, 6 deals that I don't work 1 ounce for. Not 1 ounce do I work for those 6 deals. Those 6 deals just come to me because that stupid email is going out. I swear to God. Jess, what's 6 times 15,000?
$90,000.
That's a $90,000 a year bonus for me. It's 90 grand that I wasn't going to have if that KV core wasn't running. Promise. Wouldn't have it. So as much of a pain as it is to get that thing set up and running, as much of a pain as it is to go through and look at smart campaigns and decide whether or not you like them and blah, 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 as much as it is to go through all, you don't have as many names as I do that I had to go through and put in buckets. Okay. As much as a pain as it is to do all that, to get that all set up, I promise you, it is the best time that you can spend. It's the biggest return on investment that you will ever have. And this is coming from a guy that went 15 years saying that's crap. I don't need it. I don't need it. Well, I didn't need it. I did just fine without it. I didn't need it. But who is going to shit on $90,000? Brendan?
I'll take it.
Okay. What else? Somebody, come on.
Got another comment for you.
Go.
I really like that in this system, you can create campaigns. You have the ability to create your own campaign. So everybody go contact your favorite title agent and figure out what kind of information they can get you, and get creative with it. Like we had talked about on one of these broker meetings, we talked about, hey, maybe I'll look at people that are 65-year-old homeowners that have a 2-story home and start a campaign for them, and talked about moving them into a single level property. I mean, sky's the limit. Go crazy with it.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up because I completely forgot about that. Guys, you can make your own campaign, right? So you can make up your own campaign of emails, texts, or a combination thereof that you assign to people. As a matter of fact, Brendan and I next week are building a quote unquote renter campaign, and we haven't even whiteboarded it yet, so I don't know what it's going to be, but he's targeting massive blocks of people that are currently paying rent, and he's got their contact information, and we're going to create a campaign that he can set them up on for probably what, a couple touches a month, Bren, something like that.
Yeah, at least 2 touches a month.
Right? He's going to put it on autopilot. Bren, how many names are on that first spreadsheet that you got?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's probably close to 1,000. And then also too, what we did was we made sure to only grab people in a single family residence, no apartment renters, no condos or anything like that, just people that are in a home.
Got it.
Single family residence.
Got it. So they're kind of like on the last tier of renting, before they're probably thinking about jumping off and buying something. But let's say 1,000. We're talking about, let's average it out, 3 touches a month. That's going to be, once he gets it up and running, 3,000 touches a month automated. He's going to make money, you guys.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Going to make money. Yeah. All right. What else we got? We're at 444. Opening it up also to questions outside of what we just discussed. Real estate questions in general, market questions in general, questions about pollen count, any of that stuff. Questions about Brendan's haircut and what year it was that he took his last headshot. Brendan, what year was that? What year is that headshot from?
Oh boy. 2014.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
I don't really know that guy anymore. Not sure who he is.
I don't think any of us know that guy anymore for sure.
I wish I had a picture to show you. It's pretty horrendous too at the same time. And
Hey,
and Damien knows.
everybody have a good time. Just Google Brendan Delaney and just Google Brendan Delaney and look at the old headshot. I mean, it looks like a cute little Asian high school kid. Is what it looks like.
He still looks like that.
Aw.
Thank you, Jess. I'll take it.
All right. Anything else from anyone? Anyone? Everybody click your camera on. Show us your faces before we sign out. We got some new faces in here. Let everybody see the new faces. Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of straight killers right there. What I'm talking about. Okay. Last call for anything before I press the button. Take a little bit of time, look at the campaigns, scroll through them, read them, just get a feel for them. Take a little bit of time, think about buckets, whiteboard the buckets or scratch paper the buckets that you think you want to have your people in and be able to go through and assign them buckets. Call me, text me anytime that you want to talk about buckets or campaigns or how to sort contacts or any of that crap. Call me, text me anytime. I'll give you my take on it. Make yourself a goal. Give yourself a date to say, hey, this is my drop dead date for having my database uploaded, sorted, cleaned up, having my database receiving some kind of automatic communication from me on a regular basis. Set a goal, okay? And then make it happen. The sooner you do it, the sooner you are selling real estate without doing anything. I promise you, anything, nothing. Okay? We good? Everybody give me a thumbs up if you're good. All right, go sell a shit ton of real estate. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye.